Oh, baby. What is this? Hold on. Your boy's going to get icy. Should I? What's this even doing here? What an accident. What a happy mistake. Boys, we're back and we're iced out now. We're iced out now. Is it too cold for the stream? Is it too cold for the stream? It might be. It might be. I don't even know why I own these things, dude. I bought a bunch of jewelry. I bought a bunch of jewelry when I first made a little bit of money. And I never wear it because I'm a 43-year-old white man from Canada. Like, what are we talking about? Why are you wearing ice? Why are you wearing ice? Why are you wearing a diamond chain? You're 43 years old. You're white. You're from Canada. What's up, guys? It's your boy, Trader Main, back with another episode of the order book. We got a lot to talk about today, guys. The memory super cycle, it's fucking over. It's over. AI is bottoming. AI is topping, crypto's bottoming. That's the title of the video. So is this accurate? Is this accurate? What is going on in the market? What's going on over in Korea? Okay. We got new IPOs to talk about. Kobe's got a new job. Okay. And your boy is still here working, absolutely crushing trades, releasing videos every single week teaching you how to trade. Okay. Like, we're cooking. I don't know what else to say. We're absolutely cooking. I have my boy Cody in the chat, as always, taking chart requests. So if you have questions, things you want me to talk about, things you want me to see, make sure you ask in the chat. He's going to be watching. I'm watching the chat on Twitter. I'm watching the chat on X. I'm watching the chat. That's the same thing. I'm watching on YouTube. I'm watching on Kick. We're everywhere. Okay, we're everywhere. So I appreciate you guys tuning in as always. It's going to be a good episode. Let's get into the charts. We're going to start with Bitcoin as usual, and then we'll kind of make our way down the list. And if there's anything that you want to know, anything that you want to see, let me know in the chat, and hopefully we'll get after it. What's going on, everybody? Run. Alestos, Freddy, Handy. I love you, bro. You didn't even say that. I read your name in someone else's comment. Channel 6 Network News. Hey, Trader Main, love you, bro. I love you too, News Network. You're my favorite news network. You're right up there with ESPN. You're right up there with ESPN. Have I ever all in and lost your trading career? Well, I'm still here, so I haven't lost my trading career, but I have absolutely all in before and gotten my ass handed to me and zeroed out many, many times. That's part of the journey. That's part of the journey. Connor, I hope to God that you are trolling me. Connor says, can you tell us your long-term plan? You never talk about it. I will physically fight you, Connor. I will come to your house. I will fight you. I will fight you, and then I will shit in the top part of your toilet if you tell me anything other than you're trolling right now. We're never talking about my long-term plan again. If you don't know by now, it's over for you. Now, if you're talking about my long-term plan in life, that's a completely different question. And the answer is I don't really think long-term anymore. I'm so old at this point. I'm on the back nine. You know, I'm on the home stretch of life. So I don't really need to think about long-term. You know, I'm trying to just make it to next week. We'll see what happens then. All right, guys. So we're going to start here with Bitcoin as always. Cody's monitoring the chat, taking chart requests. So we kind of drawn this little kind of wedge type of thing on Bitcoin here last time we looked at it. And it's rejecting at the highs, right? It's rejecting at the highs. And I don't really know what's going to happen from here. Like, we're sandwiched between a couple levels here. I still think this area down here is interesting, you know, to potentially long if we get down there. I don't know if we will get down here. But I gotta tell you guys, like, I still think lower high, dude. Like, I still think, like, some shit like this. Now, I think what's different than this prior leg down and even this leg down is the leg down's probably going to be shallow. I still think, though, that this area does get tagged. I don't think we're going to have another nuke like this one where it's like crazy, crazy big. But depending how high we go, it could be bigger. But I mean, here down to here is 20%. From here down to here is over 30%, right? That was 25. This was 30 something. I don't know, man. I still think one more leg lower. Like, I agree, and I've gone on my rant infinite times at this point about you know, my thoughts on where we're going to bottom, when we're going to bottom. I think the asymmetric risk at this point is absolutely to the upside. Like, I'm much more interested in looking to buy cheap Bitcoin and things like that in the coming weeks and months than I have been in a very long time, basically in like a year. That being said, I don't think the all-in buy spot time is here yet. I think the plan remains the same. Any moves below 60K, you start accumulating, and I want to slam kind of in this big gray box here, which is essentially the yearly order block. But like, this is where I would start to really go heavy. If we get down there, we might not. And then you guys know the deal. Once we get that weekly structure break, that's where I'll look to unload the rest. So in terms of short-term price action, I was looking for maybe some kind of sweep of this high to see what was going to happen. Like that's really what I'm looking for at this point. We already longed the low. We longed the low. We already did it. Right? We already did it. Everyone was bearish down here. We longed the low on this and on Solana. Everybody else was crying, puking, throwing up. And now that the coins have pumped a little bit, everyone's telling you the bottom's in. You know when the last time I heard this exact same thing happen was here. And guess what happened here? We longed the low. And then it went up and everybody told you that the bottom was in. And then it nuked fucking 25%. The same people that are telling you the bottom is in here told you the bottom was in this way up. None of them were longing the low like your fucking boy, your fucking rotten soldier, your good time pal. Okay? Your day one dog, Trader Main. So I'm not going to get caught up in the hype. I'm going to stick with the plan. And we're going to see what happens. What's up, Satoshi? How you doing, bro? Satoshi's literally in the chat, guys. Satoshi literally in my chat right now. Satoshi Glockamoto. Satoshi Glockamoto is in the chat. We found him. So we're just going to stick to the plan. Play level to level. In terms of like short-term price action here, we took out these highs. Now, if I'm reaching, like if I'm reaching, if I'm grasping at straws here, like there's no SFP here on the 12-hour. There's no SFP on the daily, and we didn't run this high. We came close, but we didn't do it. Now, if I go down like a skis ball to like the 2-day chart, you know, they don't even have the 2-day chart here on Kraken Pro, but they do have it over here on TradingView. If I go to the 2-day chart, right, you could argue, okay, well, you know, there's a sweep here maybe almost, right? Like, but at that point, you're just grasping at straws. You're reaching for stuff that's not there. So while this is enough to be considered a sweep because they work the exact same, even though there's no actual sweep there, like you could argue that this is already a short, right? Like here's your breaker. Why is it red? Why is it red? Why not white? So there's your breaker. This is effectively your sweep. You have a structure break, breakdown, retest, yeet it off, right? You could argue that, and it kind of looks like a penis a little bit, right? Which is really what we're looking for. Big bulbousy head. Gross. Gross. Penises are gay. Penises are gay. So I don't know, dude. Like I didn't short this. I could see the short. Like if you wanted to short, stop up here. You're shorting this breakdown on the hourly. I see it, but I'm not personally taking it because I like to stick to my strategy, and my strategy primarily requires the SFP. So I'll wait and see here if we run this high or this. Otherwise, I'm looking for price to either literally just turn around and trade higher or run these lows, and then I might be interested in longing. So to kind of summarize, if we sweep either of these highs here, like a clear SFP, I might be willing to short. If we break down here and tag this and get some sort of sweep down here, right, into this demand, I'd probably be willing to long. Otherwise, I'm doing fuck all on Bitcoin specifically in this very moment. Ultimately, I still think probably lower. Looking at this on like the weekly chart, right? Just be objective. Be objective for once in your life, you subjective piece of shit. Like just for once in your life, be objective. Stop being a subjective little bitch. We've got the fair value gap here, and then we've got a lot of resistance here, and this is a fresh new weekly down leg. So if we do get some sort of significant pop, I bet you it probably doesn't go as high as people think. And I do think it will be a short that's worth taking. It's just a question of like how much downside is there left? I think not much. Like I literally think if I'm correct, the next leg down is the last one or very close to. So where that comes from, I don't know. Let's just say it does this. Like, I think this is probably the last really good shorting opportunity that's going to come in the market. And then it's much more like, hey, this bitch is bottoming. Like, we need to be fully allocated before the end of the year. Doesn't mean I don't want to take this trade if it's there. I'm just objectively way less interested in shorting at this point than I was prior. Like, all of these bounces, as you guys know, right, all two of them, we were looking for instant reasons to fade. The moment we saw weakness, we were looking to fade, and we did a good job. Remember, we shorted ETH here. We shorted Bitcoin here. So we'll have to see what comes of this. And I will be looking for reasons to fade, but the longer we are in this bitch, the more and more I'm convinced that, like, yeah, you just want to be getting long by buying spot. So I don't really have anything else on Bitcoin. Does anyone have any specific questions about Bitcoin before I move on? Hey, why doesn't my settings stay the same on breakout? My chart's always going back to default when I log in. I know that this is happening, and I yell at my engineering team literally every day. I wake up, right? I'm in bed. Just remember, like this, I sleep. I sleep like a vampire, by the way. So I'm just sleep, and then boom, I'm immediately awake, right? Go directly to the bathroom, fucking rip a piss, and then I get on Slack, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep. I call the engineering team, and I just start yelling. I say, my kind of chaos 4482 wants to know why the fuck his template isn't saving in the breakout terminal. And they go, Mr. Main, we're working on this right now. I promise it's going to be shipped in the next delivery. And I say, that's fucking more like it. Get on it or else. So it's being worked on. Don't worry. I've escalated it to the necessary parties. They've been made aware, and they're fearful. They're fearful that they might lose their job if they don't do what I say. Immediately. Immediately. Kaito is on the list. We got Kaito. We got Rocket Labs. We got all the stuff. Thank you. My kind of chaos. You said I'm the GOAT. My boy. That's why I yelled at engineering on your behalf, because you're such a fucking stick, dude. You're an absolute beautician. Chrissy Poo from Kick says BTC to 48K ? I mean, I would love it. I would love it. I would love it if it went down there. Absolutely. And I would be a buyer. I'd be a big time fucking buyer down there. We got BlackBerry. I love you too, Garrett. Let's say I have $10,000 to buy spot, BTC or hype. So me personally, if I had 10 grand to invest in spot crypto, let's assume best case scenario, right? That Bitcoin comes to my exact target of 50, let's say, just for easy math. And then it goes to 150. And like, that's the top of the next bull run. I'm not saying that this is exactly what's going to happen, but I don't think it will be too far off of this. It might go a little higher. It might trail a little lower. But I think this is actually a pretty good representation of what's going to happen in the next bull run. We're talking like a 3x here on Bitcoin. Now, if you got size like your boy, if you got size like me, do I look big when I do that? It's like I'm a cobra. I'm rearing up my fucking my hood, bro. Rearing up my hood, bro. Fucking come at you, dude. We're talking 3x on spot. I don't know what your life is, bro. I don't know what your life is, but is 10 grand a lot? Is 10 grand not a lot? Is 10 grand like an amount of money that if it goes to zero, you're like confident, you're like, I'm good, right? Because if you're telling me, hey, I got 10 grand, and if it goes to zero, I don't care, right? I would probably tell you to go in hype, because I think the upside is greater than 3x. Like if Bitcoin goes to 50, let's assume hype goes to like 40. I think hype has a better chance of going beyond 120, which is a 3x, than Bitcoin does going beyond 150. Like if hype goes down to 40 and Bitcoin bottoms at 50K, right? If Bitcoin goes up to 150, I think hype goes higher than 120. Like that would be an equivalent move. I think hype goes beyond 120. So if you're willing to take the risk and you're like, I got 10 grand and I want to turn it into 100K or fucking 50K, 60, 70K, I think you have a better chance doing that in hype than you do in Bitcoin. But in terms of a safer asset to hold, I think Bitcoin is the safer asset. If you're talking long term, I think you should all aspire to get to 1 Bitcoin at least. You want to be a whole coiner. Because I do think we live in a universe where 1 Bitcoin could be $1 million one day. So if you have a whole coin, could be $1 million one day. Like I think you want to have at least one. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but that's all I have to say. I look like Diener from Fubar without the hair. Do I need to Google that and determine whether or not I'm offended by it? Like, is this a compliment or are you literally trying to make me feel bad? Diener from Fubar. I've seen Fubar, just not in a very long time. All right. You're saying I look like this guy without hair. I mean, I kind of see it. I can't lie. I kind of see it. I've seen Fubar many times, just not in a very long time. What's up, American Nightmare? How are you? I thought about using Kraken funding, but 5x leverage only is weak sauce. Yeah, but you can have a $200,000 account. So you get 5x on top of a 200K account. So for like $800, which I think is what the 200K account costs, or maybe it costs 1,000. I don't remember. It's like 1,200. I don't remember, but it's not relative to what you get. It's not that much. You can open up a $1 million notional position for like $1,200 or $1,300, whatever the price is of that account. I don't remember, and I don't know the Kraken prop pricing. I think it's similar to Breakout, but the leverage is not the 5x, dude. It's the $200,000 account. For like $1,000, you're able to open up a $1 million position. They only have 10K accounts in the US. Okay, then go to breakoutprop.com, buy a 200K account, and do it that way. And still, even on a 10K account, you can open up a $50,000 position, and you did not pay that much for that account. So you're getting actually quite a lot of leverage when you use prop, more than you think. Don't be dissuaded by the 5x. I'm $200 away from passing my account. It's incredible, bro. I hope that you make $201 immediately. Hey, man, been following your new videos. Do you have time to do a fast top down from the daily to 4 hour to 1 hour setup? On what, bro? On what? All right, so I think we're good on Bitcoin. Let's move to ETH here. Nikita turned on the algo, and all my friends were shilling ETH. And I explained in the last video why, right? Like ETH genuinely looks like it's at an interesting spot. It genuinely looks like it's at a very interesting spot. So I'm like, okay, like ETH looks good. ETH is at a spot of interest here. I understand why people are bullish on ETH. We have this downtrend line where if it can break, I could totally see ETH trade up to like 2,000 plus. I mean, hell, it was trading above 1,900 earlier today, right? It hit 1,944. Like this thing could very easily trade into the 22, 2,300. I don't know if it gets above this high. It might, but still bearish. I still think probably one leg lower on everything. But that's just me. I'm a doomer. I believe the bottom is close and the risk is now skewed to the upside, but I don't believe the bottom is in yet. And I think the problem people are going to have with that messaging is there's a bunch of people on Twitter right now telling you that the bottom's in. And so you're going to go and buy, and then price might do, and then let's assume I'm right and we get one more leg lower. You're going to get annihilated in this last leg because you went all in and you got a bunch of altcoins and you turned on the leverage and you bought a bunch of bullshit meme coins. Cash Cat under 100 mil. Just saying. And if we get another leg down on price, even if we bounce higher first, but then we get some sort of pullback, a bunch of you are going to be over levered, horribly positioned that you're not going to be able to survive that pullback. And you're literally going to get washed out into the fucking low of the bear market. Whether that low is at 50K, 40K, I don't know. I just still am pretty confident that we get at least one more leg down. Or at best, right? So like, I think it's something like this, right? I don't know how low or how long it lasts or how high it goes first, but that's kind of my estimation. But at best, I think we get something like this, right? Where it's like more sideways. And I think a lot of you, assuming the bottom's in because a bunch of people on Twitter are telling you it's in, are going to position yourself horribly during this period, and you're going to get smoked. Like, I don't think this is easy mode yet. I think this is like market dumps at all, shit gets nuked, market pumps it all, a bunch of shit rips. It's actually quite difficult to trade. I think much of you would be better off just slowly DCAing into Bitcoin, Hyperliquid, Solana, ETH, whatever else you want, going into the end of the year, Q3, going into Q4, end of the year. I think you'd be better off doing that as opposed to, trying to actively trade this or get in with lever or just your entire spot bag. But yeah, so ETH coming into this downtrend line. Let's see what happens. It's attempting to break out. We're in this high time frame zone, right, of interest. I still think possible for one more leg down, but we'll see. This thing just pushes, it pushes. I think the most interesting thing right now is like stocks are looking iffy, right? Like some of these stocks are looking iffy. Not even the indices yet. Not yet, right? But if you start looking at some of these major stocks that were like kind of leading this risk on charge, like a lot of like butt clench time on some of these bigger plays here, right? Butt clench time on a lot of this stuff. So this is the US NASDAQ listing of SK Hynix. First day, next couple days, right? Like, so I don't know. Got to be careful. Got to be careful. Because if the S&P 500 rolls over, I don't believe that Bitcoin bottoms and the S&P 500 rolls over. Like if the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ like put in, you know, a 5% down move, break below this consolidation, I think crypto gets wiped, but that's just me. Yeah, SpaceX has dumped. Why don't I have SpaceX in here? Let's add that. Trading below IPO price, right? Kind of told you this was going to happen, right? Is 5% max drawdown on a 100K account just the same as a $5,000 account? No, of course it's not. First of all, you're not paying $5,000 for the 100K account. You can get a 100K account for like $400 or $500, or like the most expensive one I want to say is $800. If you liquidate your $5,000 account, the entire $5,000 is gone. If you blow up your 100K account, you only lose the evaluation costs, and you can open up a $100,000 to $500,000 position on that 100K account. You cannot do that on a 5K account without using crazy leverage, which means you're at risk of liquidation. Go watch some of the videos on the Breakout YouTube channel where I go over that. I'm on Argentina. We'll talk about that in a bit. But they're making shitloads of money, and valuations aren't technically that unreasonable currently. I mean, I think that's tomato. I mean, that's your opinion, man. Some of these valuations, depending on who you ask, are kind of crazy. But yes, there's absolutely revenue and demand and all that stuff for a lot of these companies. It doesn't mean that they can't go down, right? Doesn't mean that they can't go down. I do think there's a world where like this current correction is to wipe out the high leverage people. All right, like we're wiping out the high leverage people here, and this is going to continue to go up. I don't know why I don't have Bloom Energy on here as well. Do I not? Like this could just be a high leverage wipe. I mean, the charts are all still very much bullish. But I'm a crypto trader, bro. I'm not a fucking stock trader. I know what I know. So ETH, someone asked me to do a quick top-down analysis. Okay, we'll do it on ETH, right? Where's your most recent swing? Here, right? That's your weekly range on ETH. So we are in the discount of a bearish weekly range. So bias, high time frame is for shorts. Go down to the daily. I would argue the daily is still bearish as well. Like you could say that like this is a bullish daily range, but really the daily is probably this same range. Maybe you say the daily range is this. Like maybe. Right? But it's arguably the same as the weekly. So it's either the same as the weekly or it's like here. Go down to the 4 hour. Right? The 4 hour, technically, like I still think that this is a bearish 4 hour chart, even though it's an uptrend here, but you could argue that this is your 4 hour range now. Right here, from here to here. So we're in a potentially bullish 4 hour range, but we're within a bearish daily and weekly range. So any longs that you're taking are counter trend. Now, can you long here? Yeah, because there's a world where we can trade up into the premium of the weekly range here. And so the 4 hour could give us that setup, right? We could see something like this, and then the 4 hour could flip bearish and it would sync back up with the daily, etc. So it's like a very quick top-down analysis. But high time frames are firmly bearish still. Someone asked me something about Sol. UK banned energy drinks? Are you serious? That's crazy. Like, is the UK as much of a communist hellhole as Twitter makes it seem? I will say, since they fixed the algo, I'm getting served a lot less like radicalization slop, where it's like, oh my God, this poor white girl just got stabbed in the UK, and oh my God, something terrible happened over here. Oh my God, you need to hate immigrants. You need to hate this. You need to hate that. Your life's over. Everything sucks. I've been getting a lot less of that, which I really appreciate because it was very depressing. But like, genuinely, like, does anyone here live in the UK? And is it as bad as social media makes it seem? Like, as a Canadian, what I can tell you is there are things going on in Canada. That they say on social media that are true. Like, there are some fucked up, brutal things happening in Canada. But also, like, day-to-day life is not that bad. It's not that bad. Has immigration gotten out of control in Canada? Absolutely. You just got to have eyes. You can fucking see that we brought in like over a million people last year. And that's the equivalent of like the US bringing in like 11 million people. Like, it's quite crazy. But like, day-to-day life is not nearly as bad as like what the doomers online will make it out to seem. There's definitely like crazy propaganda going on. But yeah, Solana, it's like still bearish, but you could argue this is like a higher low. Yeah, so it sounds like it's very similar to Canada. Like, yes, there are certain things that you can look at and you're like, hey, that's fucked up. I don't like that. But like, your day-to-day life is pretty much the norm. I think we talked about this order block on Solana. You're trying to assimilate. We got him. Get this guy. User 07. Get this guy out of my country. I'm just kidding, bro. I do love my tinfoil hat low rants, but I know I'm also probably being propagandized by big fucking media. Yeah, like, you kind of, again, like, there's your leg up. So if we're going to get some sort of pullback here, you know, sweet spot, order block, like, this is what we talked about in the last video, I think, this kind of general area for Sol, that's going to continue. I would love to see Bitcoin come and retest like 60 and then maybe give me the entry that I want. It's kind of looking a little weak here, but that's a decent drop at this point, like 5-6%. If we go down 5-6% on Bitcoin, yeah, no, that's kind of in line because Sol BTC is bullish. Or it was. I mean, yeah, I drew this whenever. This is what you want to see on Sol BTC if things are still really strong. I just explained that $5,000 is not the same as a 100K account with 5% drawdown. I think you asked that question. I answered it already. So I don't know if you weren't listening, but I already answered it. And go watch the breakout YouTube videos, read the FAQs, check out all the Discord. We have tons of resources explaining exactly why that math makes no sense. So yeah, I don't really got anything else on like the majors, guys. Like I'll take the chart request now. I'll go through them. We got a bunch. Still nothing to change here. No breakout above the high. No big sell-off yet. Like literally just going sideways. NQ. Still no breakout, right? We talked about a breakout of this trend line. Still nothing. I'm not interested until we get a breakout above the high. Still hasn't happened. We're rejecting off the trend line for now. US 30 lost its trend line. Russell's just kind of like meh. Like none of this stuff's like really moving, right? Dollar got its pullback that we kind of wanted. Front run my zone a little bit, but it doesn't really matter. More the idea was just retesting the range. I want to see the dollar turn around. And then, yeah, like a lot of these energy, AI, semiconductor kind of whole play, old basket has seen a wash. It's kind of like, I was talking to Cody before the call. Like, it's kind of like altcoins, right? Where it's like you just get like a sector-wide sell-off, right? You get a sector-wide sell-off. So as the leaders are selling off, like kind of everything's selling off. I see you on Twitter here, bro. I see you. Circle is on the list. Don't worry. So yeah, like Bloom is down. NVIDIA, right? We talked about this setup. Monthly break below, weekly structure break, 12-hour chart bounce. But like I said, I want to see that secondary leg. If this is a lower high, and we roll down here and snap below this low, this is absolutely going to roll. So something to watch there. And then a lot of this stuff, I just said it was butt clench time, right? We came into these demand zones and we've lost the aggressive trend. Then we lost this trend and now we're just kind of hanging on. It's hanging on. This is a big area, I think, like right here for Micron. And I think SanDisk is very similar. It's like this is like a big zone. Lost the trend line, bearish retest. If it loses this area, I think it's down to here. Is breakout good for swing trading? Yes. We have a daily drawdown that you have to pay attention to. What the fuck was that? We have a daily drawdown that you have to pay attention to, but we don't base our drawdowns on equity, so you can swing trade. There's no holding bullshit issues. SMR quarterly sweep almost in play. Yeah, it's not at that level yet, but it's getting close. It's getting close. If you remember, we drew that monthly level out. I have an alert there, so. You know what that was? That was my fan for my camera. Hopefully my camera doesn't overheat. All right, let's see. Okay, we got a bunch of chart requests, guys. I'm going to get into those because I don't really find any. It's not like too much to talk about here. Not too much to talk about. Like, I think a lot of people are making much ado about nothing. Shout out to the boy Billiam Shakespeare. Because, like, yes, I think crypto is in the process of bottoming. But I don't think the bottom's in yet. And like, I don't think you're going to miss out on the bull run not going all in right now. I absolutely think now is a good time to pay attention to crypto because things are getting deeply discounted and the downside from here, I think, is getting more and more limited day by day, especially as we creep closer to Q4. But I don't want you to feel like antsy. Like, oh my God, I got to get all in. Some guy on Twitter told me I'm about to miss the bull run. It's not the case. The bottom takes time to form. You're going to have time to buy it. Just pay attention, lock in. And now's a great time to learn to trade. I've been, not to shill my own fucking wares in the whiteboard series here, but it is a really good time to learn to trade, because when the bull run happens, things are going to be coming so fast that if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to just end up blindly longing anything that you see people post about on social media. If you can get to a point where you understand the basics of trading, the basics of support and resistance, of market structure, you're going to make more money in the bull run. The basics of risk management, you're going to keep more money in the bull run. The simplest things in trading work really well in a bull market. Breakouts, retests, basic support and resistance levels. It works really well when the market's ripping. And if you have that baseline understanding, it's going to help you a lot. Make and keep more of your money. So now's a good time to do it. A lot of people check out during the bear market when the market's not doing much. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be touching grass or whatnot, but it is a good time to learn. It's really hard to learn when everything's going up and then you're confused if you're like, am I learning how to trade, or is just everything I'm buying going up because we're in a bull market? So really good time to pay attention, whether or not you want to watch my series to do it or someone else's series, or just read shit on Twitter. I do think it's a good time to learn. And you can make a lot of money with basic stuff, man. Like, I've been using the same system for years. Like, in the Haven, I have a trade journal here. These are all the trades I've taken in the Haven over the last 2 years. So, stop, entry, target, 63 trades. Every trade, I risked $2,000 maximum. $2,000 max. So 100K account, 2% risk, completely static, 63 trades, more than double the account value in a year and a half. And of over half of this P&L has come from this year, where I've been on an absolute heat. And again, I'm only winning half my trades. Half. That's very doable. And the exact strategy that I use to take every single one of these 63 trades that you see here is what I'm teaching you in this fucking series. And it's all fucking free. So good time to fucking lock in with that shit. And this year, I've been on a fucking cooker of a cook. Like, this year, I'm on a cook. Half of that money I've made this year, 13 trades only. So I've only taken 13 trades in the Haven, but I've won 84% of them. This does not include any trades that I've taken on stream here. These are only ones that I directly posted where it was full stop entry target. This is not realistic. Like, my win rate is not going to be 84%. This is a very small sample size. I've just happened to be on a heater. But yeah, man, good time to fucking pay attention. All the stuff I share in streams, all the stuff I share in that whiteboard series is exactly what I use to take those trades that I post there. Okay, we got some chart requests. We got PLTR. Yeah, so I mean, I think this is still pretty accurate, right? Lower highs and lower lows on the weekly. We just made a lower low. So the next question would be whether or not this makes a lower high. And if it does, then I still want to buy that monthly order block. So nothing's really changed from when we looked at this last time, because I'm looking at it on a very high time frame. But if I recall correctly, when we looked at it last time, we were just in this range still. Well, now we've broken down, made a new low on the weekly. So now we have a new lower low, another one of these. Now we see if we get a new lower high. And if we do, monthly order block is where I like it, which is right here. So we're close to an area of interest. Whether or not we get there, I don't know. Low time frame on this thing. Sorry. Like, could you not totally see this? And then it's like something like this. It's like one more leg up. Sure, we'll add SuperVerse to the list, bro. So that's all I got for that. Rocket Labs. Just nuking through support. Not ideal. Not ideal. So it nuked through this weekly level. So I had this weekly order block. Just bounced. Immediately nuked through. So now we go to a higher time frame. When one time frame fails, simply move to a higher one. We've got a decent, like, monthly here, I guess. I'm just, like, not a knife catcher. So, like, I'm not going to just buy this because it's here. You could, right? It's literally halfway through the order block right now. Like, you could just buy this bitch here. But that's not how I trade. I'm much more interested now that we're in the demand zone. No different than when I had the weekly one. I now need to see something. Like, show me something. Right now, it's just a straight candle to the downside. Right? So there's nothing here that I'm interested in. But if we get some sort of price action here, right? A low, some sort of structure, like you got to go down, even on the 4 hour. This is literally just all red candles here. So I need to see some structure for. We're in an area where there's potentially demand. I use the word potentially very intentionally. There's potentially demand here, but we don't know until we see what price is going to do here. Like, I don't know if price is going to reverse here. This could be like, this could do this, and everyone would be like, oh my God, it was the most obvious retest of monthly demand. But we don't know if that's going to hold, right? This weekly demand could have held, and it did for a moment, right? And then it nuked right through. So you need to see, you mark the high time frame zone, and then you look for clues on the low time frame of some sort of reversal. Like, this is a move up and then a pretty strong move down. Like, this is likely going to be a fair value gap to the downside, right? Just like we had here and here, which told you more downside coming. So I'll have to wait on this thing. I think you're in an area to watch on Rocket Lab here, but I don't even see anything. Like, as low as the daily, I don't see any signal of a turnaround yet. Go to the hourly. Like, again, this is a monthly order block. There's just nothing here yet. ONDO, no condo. Oh, yeah. I remember this. So this was like a 5 stages of main, right? Aggressive, less aggressive, sideways, stage 4, but then it just broke down. But on the weekly, right? Like, this is prime territory here. All right, this is prime territory. We're basically retesting this entire consolidation. So if this is going to put in a weekly high or low, like, this is where you want it to form. Right? So just think about it, like, logically. Accumulate, rip, right? Bunch of people long, they chase, smash them all out, and then the next rip. So ONDO is potentially like here. But we don't know for sure, again. Right? We don't know for sure. But this is kind of like prime weekly high or low area, if there's going to be one, is right in here. Is that a sweep? No. No sweep, but damn close. Oh, actually, on the 3-day, it did sweep. So something there, maybe. 3-day, right? Look at that low. Pretty decent respect. So any sort of pullback, it might have already played, to be honest with you. It might have already played out here, like even this. That might have been the trade. We might have missed that entry because there's your 3-day sweep right here. But like the structure breaks not till there. I don't know. You could argue maybe this is your entry, or if we get something like this, maybe that's your entry, but I think your stop has to go down there, so it's kind of wide. BlackBerry. BlackBerry is no longer making phones, man. Yeah, I mean, this is like some old Giga level, if I remember correctly. I don't even know what the fuck this is. 3-month fair value gap. Yeah, inverted fair value gap. Yeah, Bitcoin bleeding a little bit, man. Like I said, like that is technically this was a short, like right here. Once we got that breakdown. Like technically that was a short, but because we didn't get the clean sweep, I didn't take it. BlackBerry. So yeah, we're in a resistance here, but like this is kind of your first retest. Right? Like this is a straight parabolic move. Crazy parabolic move over the last few months. 300% gainer. And now we're kind of coming into the first area of demand here. Like, is this legit? Is this a retest and then a bounce, or is this going to fully retrace the move? So if you're in BlackBerry, I think you'd probably really want to see it hold this. Because failure to hold this is, 10 to 20% plus downside, I think, if it doesn't hold kind of around here. Couldn't a retest on fair value gap on BTC be a long to take? I mean, what fair value gap? Like you're talking about like this one here? Like possibly. I'm not taking this short. I'm not in this short. I was just showing you what it would be. I'm not in Bitcoin. I kind of already gave you guys my thoughts. Like above the highs, looking for potential shorts, or run the lows, I'm looking for potential longs. I don't have a setup here. If you're asking me if you can just long this fair value gap, sure, go for it. I mean, your stop has to probably go below here then, but that's just not a setup that I like. Because like, where are you going? Is it like to here? Risk reward is like meh. But yeah, this is a fair value gap. Whether or not it holds price, I have no idea. I got no idea. I do think it's a good thing that there's a fair value gap here, right? You have a fair value gap plus we broke structure here. So there's an argument to be made that this fair value gap is meaningful relative to this low. So that's where that stop would have to be. Love you too, Ratrielli from Sydney. All right, Kaito. Damn, isn't this like the Yap thing? The yapping protocol? What happened? Didn't these guys get banned on Twitter? Didn't these guys get banned on Twitter? Apparently BlackBerry's like doing AI stuff now. Like they're making like some sort of chip or component that's like necessary in the AI trade. I'm not doing phones anymore though. That's what Elio told me in our interview, at least. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Kaito here. Any news? Like, did something happen? There you go. QNX software from BlackBerry. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this chart. I thought this thing was dead, and I thought they got banned on Twitter. So I don't really know. I don't have an opinion on this one. Like, I think it's coming into resistance. That's all I can say. But if you look at like the monthly, like this is like a decent level that it's reclaimed. So if it's able to hold that, maybe it's okay. I don't know if a dump is incoming, bro. I genuinely don't really have a read on Bitcoin. I think this PA is kind of shit here. This was the high odds spot down here, and that's the trade that we took. Up here, I'm not as confident in anything. ASTS. Yeah, like monthly sweeps, dudes. Monthly sweeps are like, if you can catch them, they're a banger. It's already off the high a lot, but the weekly chart is about to put in a bearish structure break here. All right, so like that's about to be an MSB on the weekly. And you have a nice little weekly order block there. So if this closes bearish, right, and then bounces up like this, like I think you could probably take a short on it. Stop above the swing high there. So that's what I'd be watching. Monthly sweep, weekly structure break. We get under there. But the trade was really, you didn't really even get an entry. So, yeah, you didn't really get an entry even up here. Cash Cat, I got nothing for you, buddy. Like, Vlad came out today. I believe it was today. Vlad came out and was like, Robinhood chain is like going to be quality and it's going to be built for real world assets and blah, blah, blah. It's going to be spick and span, right? Spick and span. And I think a lot of people maybe are overreacting to him saying that because Cash Cat launched and what happened? So like this is my biggest disagreement with Ansem, for example, and his whole viewpoint about the meme coins. Whatever happens with Ansem, I have no idea. And meme coins are here to stay. They're not going anywhere. Like meme coins are not going anywhere. People are going to continue to gamble degenerately. We're going to talk about that in the news. They're not going anywhere. But this idea that we should be directing people to meme coins because meme coin traders are the best participants in crypto. They're the most active, blah, 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 like the trenchers. I disagree. I think we have a ton of evidence to say that the trenchers are some of the most cancerous people in crypto. They have no willingness to hold the coins. Even the guys who are helping Ansem shill Ansem early on, like who they were tracking their wallets, they sold. Right? They're like, I'm never selling. And then they sold. Like trenchers in general, though, right? The average one, I'm not saying all of them. There's some guys who are good, who are like actual traders. Like I think like Incestos, however you say his name. I think he's solid. I think he's cool. I like what he's doing content-wise. He's making money in the trenches. But what we've seen, at least from the evidence that's available to us, is the vast majority of what goes on in the trenches is mass rape. Mass casualties. The vast majority of people get smoked, and there's a lot of predatory people out there who are going to hose you. You're copying their wallet. They're going to farm you for exit liquidity. You're watching their streams on Twitch as they're trenching, which is really them just saying, hey, I'm going to buy this coin. They already bought it on a side wallet. They're nuking on you, right? They don't hold anything. It's like, what's the runner? Oh my God, how long can this thing go up for? Maybe a week? Back in the day, people were all like Murad with meme coins. They're like, this is my fucking coin. It's my personality. I will hold this thing to the moon and back to fucking Earth. Like moon and then all the way back down. They would never sell. Whereas these new trenchers are like quick twitch, short attention span. They don't want to hold anything. And I don't think that that's a good cohort of people to be like, this is the future of crypto. We need to be incentivizing these people who are literally coming in here and they'll nuke anything on any given instance. And on Robinhood, I think they launched like a dozen launch pads right away, basically so they could launch meme coins to scam people with, not for the actual benefit of the chain. And the moment Vlad says, hey, like, yeah, there's meme coins, but we're really building this for RWA, people are like yeeting out of the coin. What do you mean? Memes brought you all the volume. It's like, well, no, you guys are kind of parasitic. And at the instant sniff of any liquidity, you immediately go there and try and extract it from other people. So, like, I think that trenchers in general are much more PvP. They're much more short-term, short time horizon focused. It's much more like a video game. I don't think they plan on holding coins. I don't think they like holding coins. They don't actually believe in anything. And I think there is a lot of casualties in the trenches. And ultimately, I think there's a lot of people in the trenches who are doing things in a very shady way to fuck over other people and try and maximum extract as much as they can in as short of a period as possible. So to summarize, that is my biggest disagreement with, you know, what Ansem says perhaps, which is like, well, Ansem coin proves that the trenches are back and that they're like this most important thing to crypto. I'm like, dude, you're arguing that we should incentivize and give money to people who have been some of the most extractive people in all of crypto, the least value additive people. You could even argue that the biggest company in the trenches, Pump Fund, has been extractive. Now, I don't love that argument because I'm like, no one forced you to use Pump Fund or to buy tokens on Pump Fund, but they didn't even do an airdrop, right? So they made billions and billions of dollars. They're making hundreds of millions a year still, and there's no airdrop. They raised $1 billion, still no airdrop. So you could argue like the epitome of the trenches, Pump Fund, like everyone got annihilated on there. Less than 1% of the wallets, right? Made any money, made more than 10 grand, less than 1%. And what about all the wallets and the dexes like the Bullex and Axiom and all of those Solana-based trading wallets that made 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 million dollars and then just like slow rugged, disappeared, fucked over their users. Axiom, didn't they get accused of insider trading and shit? Like, so I'm not saying crypto is like this spick and span industry. There's a lot of grossness in crypto in general, but like trenches is like the lowest common denominator for a lot of the bad stuff that I think happens in crypto. And so I just kind of diametrically oppose this idea that like these are the most important cohort in crypto is meme coin traders because they've got there's you know, they bring volume, blah blah blah. It's like I think these people are vampires, and the moment there's a drop of blood, they're fucking in there like swimwear, buddy. But I'm an old man, and maybe I'm just too washed to understand, and I need to be educated by some of these new trenchers about why it's so great. Take 2 monthly sweep. Okay. Is this like the sell-off before GTA 6? Ooh. This might actually be an interesting trade here. Right? So a lot of people are bullish on this because of GTA. But if this thing rolls over leading into GTA, like that might be a sick setup there. Might be a sick setup there. How old is my order block? He's a little over 3. Maybe that's a trade there. MSFT, big weekly sweep. Yeah, we were watching this for a long, actually, on Microsoft when I looked at it last time. We had that weekly breaker, but now we've got a fresh weekly sweep here, to your point. You could argue the 12 hours already in motion on that setup. That would have been a nice one. Like your entry is as soon as we get this break, you enter on this pullback or the next one. Stop there. It's already kind of in motion though. Why do you use volume if you never mention it in those whiteboard lessons? Thanks. I don't use volume. Where do you see me looking at volume or talking about volume? Stop texting me, you fucking assholes. I'm working. Hype. Let's see. I like that if Hyperliquid still lists as a shitcoin. So I think part of what happened on Hyperliquid here was we had this company, CXMT, list on Hyperliquid before their IPO, and it was trading like way higher than what they were going to IPO at. We actually talk about that here. So CXMT is a massive $8.5 billion DRAM IPO, and it's IPOing at $1.28 per share. So this is a Chinese company that is competitive with like Micron. And they're now holding 8% of the global DRAM market. First quarter revenue, 50 billion yuan. That's 7.5 billion USD. It's up over 700% year over year. Net profit of 25 billion yuan, which is like 3.25 billion USD. So they're IPOing at $1.28 per share. But if their first quarter revenue was 7.5 billion, like even conservatively, these guys are going to do like $30 billion this year, right? At the rate things are going. And to Andy's point here from the roll up, he's like, they're going to do 50 or 60 billion per year in revenue. I don't know if that's accurate, but even at half that, they're IPOing at a price of only $80 billion market cap. So it seems like the IPO price is way too low, right? They're selling equity to the investment banks and it's getting absolutely ripped off with the pricing and has sold equity far lower than the actual market price. It makes no sense. It's nearly guaranteed that the opening price of the stock will be far closer to the $6 to $7 range. And you could trade it on places like Hyperliquid. Polymarket has these private markets as well, pre-IPO markets. It's trading at like $7 right now and it hasn't IPO'd yet. So could be pretty crazy, but this is, again, the future of finance here that we're seeing, right? Like the IPO hasn't even happened. People are speculating based on the strength of the company, the revenue that they're doing, that this IPO price is way too low. And there's alpha here. There's money here. So I think that's part of what caused hype to go up a little bit here was this listing of CXMT, excuse me. But nothing's really happened here, right? Nothing's really happened here. It's still just kind of going sideways. Still holding this demand zone. And I would still like to long it lower if I'm given the chance. Like if Bitcoin's going to roll over and I can long Hyperliquid down here, I'll do it. Otherwise, nothing's doing for me here, dude. It's basically been in the same range for 3 months or 2 months here, month and a half. This is 50 days. 50 days in the same range. Just like nothing to do. Don't force yourself into something that's not there. Now, if you go on the low time frame, like maybe is there some trades here? Sure. But like looking at anything like substantial here, the daily and up, this thing's just going sideways here for now. Rosinger, you absolute fucking gas-powered nail gun. You're an Arctic cap, buddy. You are an Arctic cap. You're slotted. You're a stick. Okay, you're a tour level stick. Okay, tour level stick, this guy. You're a fucking coined up warlock yourself. You're an absolute beautician of the highest order. of the highest order. IBM. You're a fucking nail gun, buddy. You're an absolute tour level eggshell planting stick out there, dude. Zzz. Arctic Cap. Literally, this guy's like a physical embodiment of a stick. You don't even understand. He is a rod of purity as well. How do I not have IBM on here? So as you guys remember, IBM had that massive like 20% down day on weaker than expected earnings. So they only made $17.2 billion instead of the $17.8 billion that was expected. We're getting a little bit of a balance here. Like a move like this, generally, I want to see some of that backfill. So you could argue that there's an opportunity here for maybe some of this inefficiency to get filled in. But looking at this on the high time frame, I think you have to be concerned a little bit, right? We've now rinsed kind of both sides of this range, right? So we've rinsed both sides of the range. So I wouldn't short here. I think probably a bounce is more realistic, but I don't know. Like kind of looks toppy to me a little bit. Too early to say. Hood is one of my greatest trades ever, by the way. I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you go look up Trader Main Hood. Okay, long before anyone was talking about Hood. Okay, I'm talking 2023, okay? I took this one in the Haven at $10 and I full ported my TFSA and my RRSP, which are like tax deferral, tax-free trading vehicles here in Canada, full ported a bunch of money in a Hood at like $10. Now, I did not hold it nearly long enough. I sold in like this move here. I wish I held up into here. But basically, right, what you had here was just a high time frame sweep and then a breaker. So like people ask me all the time, like, does this shit work on like TradFi? I'm like, yes, it fucking does, dude. Yes, it fucking does. And this was literally just, as you can see here, sweep of that May low. Okay, so here's your low in fucking May right here. And then just a breaker play on the monthly, dude. Right? Monthly sweep. Weekly. Okay. Weekly breaker right there. So right as we got into that sweep there, like this pullback was the buy. And this thing just fucking ripped, right? Just started going. And I mean, this thing went insane. Like a liquid like 10x here. Or a liquid like 6x here, excuse me, not 10x. I got in around $10. This was one of my best TradFi trades ever. I wish I held it longer because it just went absolutely bonkers. I did not hold nearly enough up into this move. I got a ton out on the way up here, but still. So where does Hood go now? I don't know, man. I mean, I think that this looks fine. Fuck, I never should have sold this. What's up, Andy? How you doing, G? Shout out to Andy and the Roll Up. They got a great show. Great fucking show. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I don't hate. I like Robinhood as a company, bro. Like Robinhood as a company. You have a big move up, nice healthy correction. I would just try and assume that this is going to continue till proven otherwise. So if I can hold here, like just bang there, bang here, right? Just 3-day order block. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to look at a couple more real quick, and then I got to go on to the next thing here. MicroStrategy, it's attempting to break out. I still think lower. But not really a ton to say right now. We'll have to wait and see what happens with Sailor. Don't I invest in other sectors? Like what, bro? I'm primarily in crypto. Oh, shit. Sorry, one sec. I'm primarily a crypto guy. And then, like, you know, some tech and indices and stuff. Nothing like crazy complicated. A little bit of real estate. I'm not like some crazy sophisticated investor, bro. I'm just like, you know, I've made enough money that I can just like trade the basic stuff and do pretty well. Yeah, I don't know. I have nothing to say on MicroStrategy here at this point. Nothing's happened. Circle, we're at the range lows. There may or may not be an announcement on Breakout on Monday about something. There may or may not be. I don't know. Circle's at the range lows here. So this is exactly where you want to see it kind of find a bid if it's going to. You re-entered ETH at 1900. Why? SuperVerse. Wow, that's crazy pump, dude. That is a crazy pump. This is Elio's token, isn't it? That he was talking about. I mean, I don't know, bro. Like, some people in the chat were like, Elio's fucking blah, blah. Like, dude, if you start a token and it's able to do this, this is, by crypto standards, this is a success. By crypto standards, this is a success. Because he was able to have it pump twice. Like, it pumped on listing, and then he managed to get it to pump again in the next cycle. Most coins rally once in one cycle, if that. So the fact that he was even able to orchestrate this and create a coin that had a chance, like, dude, you could have bought this thing for less than 10 cents. Less than 10 cents. And a year later, sell it for over $2. As far as cryptos go, like, if you can get your coin actually go up more than once, dude, and this is during, this is not even during, like, the peak bull here. Yeah, dude, like, the Bitcoin bull run was here. This is, like, kind of like early bull market, too. Pretty crazy. But as it stands right now, I mean, the thing's guttered. Like, it is what it is. It's fully retraced the move. So if you're going to look at this thing, right, like, well, where do you want to look at altcoins? You want to look at altcoins that are down 90%. You want to look at altcoins that are down 90, 99%. So this fits the bill, right? It's down massively. 96% from the high. So if you're going to look at an altcoin, like, this is the time to do it. Again, I don't personally think the bottom is in on Bitcoin yet. So altcoins could go down more, but we're seeing some early signs with things like ETH BTC and Sol BTC trying to turn around, which could tell you, right? So, like, if there's a world where Bitcoin does this, right? It's here, it bounces, it makes a lower low, and then it bottoms, and some of these altcoins do this, make a higher low, and then you get a divergence here. Like, there is a world where that happens. I don't know if that is the case yet, right? I don't know if that's the case yet. But, like, ETH, off of its low here, right? 20%. Bitcoin off of its low, it's only 10%, right? So ETH is further off the low than Bitcoin is. So there's a world where Bitcoin could make a lower low and ETH could make a higher low. I'm not saying that that's going to happen here, but that's exactly the type of move that you want to buy. And that's what we did on Solana here, if you remember. Higher low on Sol, lower low on Bitcoin. Okay, we'll look at XPL here. I don't think anything's happened yet. Like, nothing still. It's just still consolidating here. So it's holding the low. It's holding the zone. But I don't have any update on this. Nothing's happened since you guys asked me to look at this last time. It's a weekly breaker. We need to see a turnaround. So nothing yet here. What are some altcoins that I trust? I don't trust any altcoins. There's some altcoins I like. I like Hyperliquid. But yeah. I don't really trust any cryptos except for Bitcoin. Guys, do me a favor. Go follow the Order Book. Order Book Show on Twitter, please. We're posting tons of our tweets and stuff. Clips from the show and stuff. So if you miss stuff, this is a good place to watch. Another place to do that is Order Book Show over on Instagram. We're seeing a lot of growth here on our clips, which I'm really happy about. So if you want to support your boy, go follow those pages. It really helps me out. The other thing that you can do is go watch the goddamn Whiteboard Series videos. Watch the Whiteboard Series videos. These are really, really good. This last video that I did, guys, is, I think, really good because it rehashes a bunch of the stuff I talked about in the video before this in more detail with more examples. So if you have, look at this face. Who doesn't want to see this face for an hour and a half? This is a really good fucking video. It's only got 4,000 views so far. This is worth fucking watching. This entire series is worth watching. Okay? Go watch it. If you want to learn how to trade, the exact trades that I take to do this kind of trading, I teach you in this video series. And it's all fucking free. 100% free. All I ask is you watch the fucking videos and you engage with the bullshit. Like the tweets, retweet them, share them. You know? That's all I ask. Man, Ansem just does crazy numbers on here, bro. 27,000 poor people begging for money in the chat. Like, I'm an Ansem holder. Please give me money. I need money. Hello? Are they even reading chat? I don't think they're seeing our chat. Buy Ansem's dog, Calvin. Ansem, check your inbox. Contract address. I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. Can I get 5 soul? Like, maybe I'm just jealous. Maybe I'm just jealous because they're view mogging your boy. But I like to just come with the fucking trading knowledge, man. I'll teach you how to fish, bro. I'm not going to give you free fish. I will teach you how to fish. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to NATO. NATO's been supporting me for a long time. If you want to trade 24/7, tokenized stocks as spot, SPY, QQQ, the Mag 7, it's open 24/7. You can buy spot stocks on NATO right now. Okay, very fucking cool stuff. It's also a DEX, a CLOB DEX, so you can trade spot. You can also trade perps. Right now, they're in season 2 of their airdrop. So if you want to farm some ink tokens, brought to you by the same great team behind Kraken, all you got to do is trade on NATO. You get more points trading some of their new stuff. So if you want to farm some ink tokens for the ink airdrop, I think it should be a good one. I think they're expected to drop 300,000 points this week All you got to do is trade. So shout out to the NATO team. Head over to NATO XYZ. The link below my video here, if you want to get on NATO, you can use this link right here. Sign up for NATO. Easy peasy, boys. Easy peasy. So let's talk about some fucking bullshit, boys. Let's talk about some fucking bullshit, because there's some shit going on. How do you have the confidence to take some altcoin trades when everything relies on BTC? Because you have to be able to look at the chart objectively in a vacuum and determine if there's a trade there. And then Bitcoin being bullish or not bullish is part of your confluence. If you're going to long an altcoin and Bitcoin looks like shit, that's probably a riskier long. It doesn't mean it can't work, though. Right? So if you want to long an altcoin and Bitcoin's at support and the altcoin looks good, that might be a really good trade. But yeah, man, you got to be willing to fucking take swings, pull trigger. South Korea raises rates for the first time in 3 years as the KOSPI plunges 6.4%. So as you guys remember, the KOSPI, where is it? Where is it? I got it. Everyone shut the fuck up. So the KOSPI, big nuke, small V bounce, right back down. So they are raising rates. 3.2% inflation in June, the highest since December of 2023. And an overheating economy boosted by AI-driven semiconductor exports, the central bank lifted its benchmark rate by 25 basis points to 2.75. The KOSPI closed at 68.21 after heavy selling in Samsung Electronics, down 8%. SK Hynix down 10%, with leverage ETFs fueling record volatility, including the 8th circuit breaker of this year. Officials project 2.6% growth for 2026, despite household debt risks, as President Lee Jae-myung called the market quite unstable, and regulators eye curbs on risky funds amid $330 billion in erased value. Like, Korea is like what we have going on in America, except they're just way more degen. Like, we're talking about raising rates in America. We haven't had circuit breakers. They've had 8. 1 and 3, I think, was the number. Or was it 1 and 30? Was it 1 and 3 or 1 and 30? One in 30 working age Koreans got liquidated last week. 1 out of every 30 people who are working age in Korea got licked. We need to step up our game, not just in North America, but in crypto in general. Like, we thought we were degenerate. These Koreans, they take it to a whole other level in terms of the degeneracy. They're taking out debt to long the top of these semiconductor trades. 1 in 30 of them got liquidated because of it on this pullback. So now they're trying to basically curb some of this stuff. They're going to raise rates a little bit. Maybe they're going to change some things, right? Like they're talking about, regulators curbing risky funds. I don't know, man. They just do it better over there in Korea, dude. Like, so bad. They're so over-levered, they get so wrecked that they're like, okay, we're raising rates, and we might not even let you motherfuckers trade some of this shit anymore. Absolute god-tier degenerates in Korea. And we talked about this in the last stream, what was happening over there with SK Hynix, with Samsung, with the KOSPI, and now we're seeing some of the fallout of that. The liquidations are coming through, huge numbers, massive amount of people wrecked, and you wonder if America is like not far behind when everybody is talking about holding stocks and trading options and getting levered into this trade that is getting long in the tooth, no matter what way you look at it. Yes, there's still demand. Yes, there's still revenue, but some of these charts are getting crazy, right? And whether or not the run is over for Micron, I have no idea, but these types of moves happen and they annihilate people who are over levered, right? And that's what you saw happen in Korea. This is probably far best in the long run. The stock market is not meant to be a casino, and that's what happened to KOSPI. So here we go. South Korea will soon announce measures to address leverage ETFs tied to Samsung and SK Hynix, the nation's top financial regulator said. So I have an interesting take on this, and we're kind of going to get into this a little bit later. I mean, we can get into this now. Fuck it, right? So Thread Guy brought this up, and Warren Buffett brought this up, right? And then this is a really good article. So here's my take on this, right? So they're talking about regulating some of this degeneracy out of the market, right? And then you go and check out this article from Warren Buffett. It's post about Warren Buffett. He says, the short-term options trading, frequent deal boosts Wall Street more than patient investing, making it hard to find true bargains. Berkshire Hathaway is in record cash and treasury bills, which is a big shift from a few years ago. I mean, he's saying this is, kind of parallel to the 1999 dot-com crash, urging investors to prioritize temperament and realism amid tech rallies and trader reactions. And then, you've got Thread Guy, who is kind of the, I think, epitome of what he's talking about in his explanation here, because he is one of these young guys who's like, why would I invest in something long-term? I see someone make $1,500 or $15,000 in a couple days. They're going to buy more. They're going to flip it for profit. They're actively trading because finance is now different than how it used to be. Social media is faster twitch, higher dopamine hit, shorter attention span than ever before. We went from like long form videos on YouTube to like 6-second TikToks and Instagram reels. Can you make me laugh instantly? And now his argument that he's proposing, or his take, is that trading is becoming similar. And maybe this is I'm Warren Buffett in that I'm like, I think trenching's retarded. They don't want to hold anything. They're just instantly flipping stuff, right? Maybe that's the new move. Maybe that's what kids want to do. They're like, I don't have the attention span to hold anything for a period of time. I'm like in and out, in and out. Social media is like that, right? Everything's like that. So it becomes this more casino-esque, like, a new hand of blackjack every 2 seconds, a new hand of baccarat. And me being an old curmudgeonly man who's yelling at the new kids, similar to Warren Buffett here, who made all of his money basically buying shit dirt fucking cheap and then holding it for a very long fucking time, is like, hey, this isn't how it should be. We need to be buying and investing in value, right? We need to find deals, stuff that's cheap, right? Wait, buy the blood, hold it, right? Be patient. And maybe Thread Guy's right. That's just not what it is anymore. But my take is kind of, it's like a bit of both. Like, the reason the stock market has become so casino-like is because people are poorer than ever. Young adults are poor, despite every metric which suggests otherwise. This is a really good article. You should read it. But really, it's like, it's obfuscated by what you see online. You see everyone has a cell phone. They're on social media. They're going on trips. They've got a new iPhone, right? They're out and about. But the things that actually matter, buying a home, right? Essentials, buying food, education, are being offset, right, by huge decreases in non-essential goods. So they have a new phone, new TV. They appear wealthy, but they're never going to be able to afford a house. They can't afford education without going into massive amounts of debt. And I think this is the problem, is people are looking for a way to gamble their way out of what is effectively a middle class that is soon no longer going to exist. The middle class is being squeezed out of existence. You're either going to be poor or you're going to be not poor. And I think a lot of young people realize the cost of living is growing at a rate that wages are not. How do you make up for that delta? You got to gamble. And whether that gambling is options, perps, prediction markets, casinos, sports betting, because you can bet and gamble and speculate on anything these days, that's how they're making up for that delta. It used to be buy lottery tickets. Maybe you'll win the lottery. Now it's like I've got to literally hyper gamble myself out of like the permanent underclass. I really think that that is what's happening, and it's inescapable. Regardless of what you do, what you regulate, regardless of what people like me or Warren Buffett say, saying, hey, you shouldn't treat things like a casino. I think young people are realizing that, hey, if I want to make it, I have to have extraordinary returns, not 5 or 6 or 7% a year compounded over a long time. To Thread Guy's point, they don't have the patience or the attention span for that. They need to make the money right now. Hence why Ansem is so popular right now. He's telling you someone's going to turn $1,000 into $1 million. They're going to do it. It's going to be in meme coins. You're feeding the beast. Like, you're feeding the beast. The part of their brain that says, yes, this is what's going to get me out of the hood is a meme coin's going to, I'm going to put $1,000 into it and I'm going to make $1 million. Flowhorse had a really good post about this, and I completely agree, because Ansem basically made a post here, saying like the next celebrities are going to be the ones turning 1K into millions in public, documenting every trade, then teaching you how they did it. This is an outlier. Most people will never turn $1,000 into millions, publicly or not. And if they do, the vast majority of those people got extremely fucking lucky. It was not skill. It was not skill. Okay? It was luck. And just because something happened, right, it does not mean that it's worth teaching or replicable. And I kind of, like, I agree with Horse here. And again, maybe this is because I'm an old, dusty bastard. I'm over 40, so is Horse. But you're just teaching people, like, yeah, gambling's how you're going to make it. When it's like, well, you're not. Like, the statistics are very obvious. Like, you're probably going to get fucking smoked. But that's kind of my take, is like young people are realizing, like, hey, we're fucked. We're never going to be able to own a home. My dad was a fucking mailman, and he bought us a house and had 4 kids. These kids are living in shoebox apartments. And the only way they're going to be able to get out of this is by gambling, by playing in the casino. So I don't think it's going away. I don't think you can regulate yourself out of it. I really don't. I think this is the future. Is kids are going to try and get their way out of this permanent underclass by gambling their way out. Perps, prediction markets, options, casinos, meme coins, sports betting, everything. It's not going anywhere. And whether or not that means that we're in some sort of bubble and this is what happens at the very end, I don't know. And I don't think it really matters. It's going to happen anyways because of the way things are growing exponentially. People want to have money. They want to have money. And I think a lot of people are desperate and they don't see any other way to get there. And to Thread Guy's point, their attention span is conditioned from social media to not think long term. We kind of already talked about this. Shout out to Andy and the boys. Micron is down, obviously, as you can see. Kind of a sector-wide sell-off. SanDisk down, Micron down, Intel is down. A lot of these names are down. Marvell, Iron, BlackBerry. So AMD, right? Let's see. Is this just a leverage wipe? Is this just a leverage wipe and the party continues? Or are we starting to see topping structure? This is the weakest some of this stuff has looked in a very long time. Even if it bounces, like a lot of this stuff could very well bounce into a lower high. So that's something to watch on some of these big names in kind of, memory and chip making, etc. Hedgehog here saying that, this is make or break level for a lot of different tech names. He's using Micron as an example. I agree. A lot of these things, butt clench time. Butt clench time, absolutely. BlackBerry's back, baby. They're so fucking back. And guys, obviously, if you're going to try and hyper gamble your way out of poverty, like, because there's no other way. Like, if you don't get rich soon, you're fucked. Like, you're fucked, dude. You're going to be working for a robot, like, is like a meat cell. Like, the rich people, we're going to have robots in our house, and then the poor people are going to be meat cells that the robots are using to get power from, because it's more eco-friendly than actual, actual power and energy. They're going to use you as a meat battery. If you don't get rich soon, you're going to become a meat battery to power the robots that are going to fold my laundry. That's what's going to happen. So you need to get rich really quick. And there's only 2 ways you're going to do it. Way number 1 is you're going to watch my whiteboard series, and maybe, just maybe, you're going to learn how to trade properly and make some motherfucking money. Option number 2 is you're going to gamble your way out of there. And if you're going to gamble your way out of there, you should do it on my Polymarket ref link. Don't be so selfish. Don't be so selfish, okay? Help your boy out. Yeah, I think the fact that your kids haven't seen phones or iPad at that age are good. I think at 6 and 8, like eventually you have to start introducing them to technology, unless you plan on living on a farm, you know, and like just being completely off grid. But they're going to need to know how to use technology. I've got cousins and stuff who are like 10, 11, 12 years old, and they're using Claude to code fucking stuff. So you don't want them to be left behind from technology, but I absolutely agree with like little kids, the iPad kids, those kids always turn out fucked up. Cody will drop the link in the chat. If you're going to gamble your way out of fucking infinite poverty, you absolutely have to be doing it on my ref link. It's the only way. It's the only way, guys. What's up, Dr. Porney? How you doing, my G? So big news for the unemployed. You're still unemployed, but you know who's no longer unemployed is Kobe. Kobe is now taking over from Base founder Jesse Pollak. He steps back from app leadership after admitting his social bet was wrong. Who could have guessed that Creator Coins and Base launching stupid fucking social coins was wrong? Who could have guessed? Me, motherfucker. You guys remember this? Coinbase CEO posting sub $5 million market cap shitters. What part of the cycle was this? August 2025. Guess what part of the cycle it was, Brian? It was the topping part of the cycle, Brian. It was at the Pico Schmico top of the fucking cycle, Brian and Jesse. And they clowned me for this because Brian retweeted or commented and was like, if you met Balaji, owning a piece of his content and creativity isn't a shitter. If you're in other coins, feel free to trade whatever you like. This is just an example, to each their own. And he was trying to fucking dunk on me. And look, lo and behold, my boy Ansem, I love you. But wrong. All of you guys were fucking wrong. I was right. 97% down, to the point where Jesse finally admits that he was wrong after these fucking tokens go down 97%, dude. Like, get fucking clapped on. Like, this stuff has been a joke from the beginning. We knew this. We knew this was going to fucking zero, dude. We knew this was going to fucking zero. Everybody knew this was going to fucking zero. Anyways, now, we have, it disintegrated completely. You could argue it nuked to zero, just like Trader Main said it would. And indeed, all of them were shitters. I would like a written apology from Brian. I want an apology. Have I met Balaji? No. Is Balaji now worth 97% less than he was before, Brian? Jesse, trying to dunk on the boy Trader Main? Trying to bunk on the boy Trader Main? If you're into other coins, yeah, like literally anything, dude. Literally anything. Anyways, now Kobe will lead Base App as well as other trading products within Coinbase. So he is now taking up trading products at Coinbase, CB App, Pro, and Base. Now, as someone who just had their company acquired by a Coinbase-like company, Kraken, this is a massive fucking job that Kobe is undertaking here. But I think that in terms of who could be doing it, Kobe is one of the best. He's a trader. He's been a whale. He's been a founder. He is in tune with crypto Twitter. He's a very smart person. But he is taking over a huge responsibility here. So I'm really excited to see what Kobe's going to do with it because I'm on the inside of Kraken now. Kraken has Kraken Pro. They have various different apps and stuff. And he's now responsible for all of trading products at Coinbase. That's a very big fucking role. But I think he's a way better fit for this than Jesse. So rest in piss. I'm totally kidding, Jesse. I don't actually know Jesse. I just like to clown on people because he was very arrogant, very, very fucking arrogant when all that stuff was going on. And when I said, hey, maybe at the pico top of the entire fucking market, don't tell people to buy $5 million garbage creator coins on your garbage app. And to be arrogant about it, even though tons of people now lost money because Brian tweeted out he bought that coin. Anyways, I digress. I don't actually have any hard feelings against Jesse. I don't know him. But this is a big fucking job. This is a big fucking job. I think Kobe is well equipped to do it. But oh my God, bro. I would not fucking want that job in a million years. You could not pay me enough to take that fucking job. But hey, maybe he's bored, dude. Maybe he's fucking bored. Maybe he's bored. He doesn't want to play Factorio anymore. I don't even know what that is. What's Factorio? Is this a game I should download? I really miss playing video games, dude. But I just can't get into anything anymore. But yeah, I think maybe he's just bored. He wants a challenge. This is going to be a big challenge. But I think if anyone's equipped to do it, it's absolutely Kobe. No limit gains. I mean, I don't like this guy's account as much as it used to because it's just fucking doom posting nonstop. Like, it's just doom posting. He used to post like charts and stuff, and now it's just like literal engagement bait slop. But effectively what he's saying here is that we're in the end game here. You're soon going to be able to pay for the sitting president to give you privilege of front running everyone else because Trump media basically said, hey, we're going to sell a faster access method to Trump's social posts. And you might say, hey, why would this matter? Why would I want to see Trump's posts faster? Could it be because the sitting president on multiple occasions has basically telegraphed what he is going to try and do with the market by telling you to buy right before or after or near or around, you know, a tariff deal happening or an Iran deal happening or tariffs getting put on in the first place? He's effectively selling Bloomberg Terminal, but for his tweets, and he's letting you know that he's going to be tweeting stuff that's going to affect the markets. And if you want to know before everyone else, you got to pay him. If there has never been a better grifter than the Trump family. I'm sorry, man. Like, I'm sorry. No one has done it better than this guy. He's the best. He's the best at the fucking grift. He's unbelievable. Okay? He's selling legit, like, insider trading access to his tweets. Like, imagine you're an oil trader. Trump says, hey, guys, we just made a deal with Iran. You short oil. 5 minutes later, that tweet gets made public to everyone else. Oil fucking nukes. Like, unfucking believable. I'll be signing up for sure because I need me that Trump alpha. And he knows how to move the market. That's for sure. But it's just crazy that this is the Black Mirror episode that we're all living in. Like, Trump has very blatantly used his social media to move the market and almost certainly, allegedly, has tipped off friends, families, insiders about what's going to happen to the point where we've seen them position on Polymarket, on Hyperliquid in advance of things happening. And now you're just going to be able to buy your way into it. So, I mean, he's the GOAT. If Messi's the GOAT of soccer, Trump is the grifting GOAT, and nobody is fucking close. So where's SP going to hit this month? I think probably downside would be my bet. I like some of the lower numbers here more than some of the higher numbers as we get later into July here. If we break above the high, obviously I think this is a free money long, but the way things are kind of looking a little iffy right now, I don't know if you want to speculate on some downside. I really like some of these lower levels here, but timing wise might be hard to time that. But 7,200. Run these lows out here. Does that have a decent pay? It's 5-1. Right? It's like 5-1 basically. Not horrible. Not horrible. Crazy fires coming out of Canada, dude. So you're welcome, dude. I'm just blowing fat fucking vape clouds from Canada down into the US. So if your air quality is shitty in the eastern coast of the United States, it's because I'm blowing fat fucking vape clouds down below the border. So fuck you. I'm ruining your summer with my fat fucking vape nation. Fat vape clouds, boys. But yeah, crazy fucking fires going on in Northern Ontario, and it's hot as fuck. 37 degrees Celsius, I believe, is 100 Fahrenheit, or pretty damn close. So it's humid, almost 100 Fahrenheit, and there's raging fucking fires. Looks fucking horrible. Hopefully everyone's okay. There was crazy wildfires out west here last couple of years. So really hope everyone's okay, and this clears up. Sooner than later. Look at BTC real quick. There's nothing to look at here, bro. Nothing has changed since I looked at it 40 minutes ago. As you guys know, on Polymarket, you can now do combo betting, which are effectively parlays, but there's a 50K daily bonus being paid out to the top combo trades on Polymarket. So we have the World Cup final coming up here. You could bet on who's going to win the World Cup final, as well as who's going to win the Golden Ball, the Ballon d'Or. Or you could bet on any sort of combination of things. You could bet on the World Cup final, and then you could also bet on a baseball game. And every single day, Polymarket is shipping out 50K in daily bonuses to the top combo traders. Now, I have been getting cooked. It doesn't help that I took a very drunk bet on Colombia and lost. I also bet on Norway and Conor McGregor and lost. But if you remember, at the start, we bet on Argentina to win it all. 8 cents. It's now trading at 41 cents. So we're already up like 3.5x our money on this market here. We could sell this. The game isn't even been played yet. And we could sell this for a profit. Right? I could sell mine for a profit right now and make some cash. This was a $250 bet. I'm up like 4x on that. Or we can hold it and hope that they go all the way and win $3,000 and bring us out of this fucking hole that we're in. So who do we got for the final, guys? I want to say that Argentina just has, like, Messi's just him. Even at like almost 40, he just seems like he still has it. He's not as good as he was, but he's still so fucking good. But they've also played from behind like every game. And can they do that against a really good team in Spain? I don't know. But I'm probably going to full port whatever's left of my account onto Argentina on a money line, on top of me having them for the pick from the beginning. And then I'm just going to hope and pray. Unless anyone has any better kind of bet. You're long on Sol. Okay. I don't know if I see a trade here on Sol other than like this. Like, we're kind of in demand here, I guess. High or low. This absolutely could turn around here. Bitcoin needs to go, right? Like, you need Bitcoin to turn around too. Can I look at IonQ, please? Spain definitely seems to be the better team. I don't know. Looks kind of like shit. Would want to see it hold this monthly demand here. Similar to like Rocket Lab. Right? Rocket Lab, like, you need to see some sort of low time frame sign that the buyers are stepping in. I just don't see anything yet. All right, guys. I think that's all I got. I got to go to the gym. I got to take my dog out. It's 5:20. I would love to hear from you guys if there's other stuff you'd love to see on the stream, other stuff you want me to talk about. But I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. I know we're streaming at the same time as Ansem and Banks on Thursdays. But I appreciate you guys tuning into my show. Something a little different. We're talking about different things. You know, it's good to have different points of view, multiple shooters, right? Different players on the court. Shout out to Polymarket and NATO, Cracker Pro for sponsoring. As usual, guys, use code MAIN at checkout on Breakout if you want a discount. But here's the thing, guys. On Monday, we got something coming. I'm not going to say what it is, but on Monday, we got something coming. So you may want to pay attention. An announcement of an announcement. What about the Clarity Act speech in 40 minutes? I mean, watch it. I don't really care. I'll see. I don't trade the news. I'll wait and see what happens, and then we'll kind of go from there. H3 throwback, baby. You bet. All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys next week. I hope everyone has a great day. Bye-bye.